Okay, get comfortable. Wow, okay. Hey Illumineers, Rebecca Quest here, and this is something that I don't normally do. So you usually see me on Instagram in short videos or skits or other short form content, and I don't really talk at length about a lot of things. And as I was thinking back on my experience at the Disney Lorcana World Championship and everything that led up to the World Championship and all my thoughts and feelings and reflections about it, I thought, how on earth can I distill all of that down into a video that is 3 minutes or less on Instagram? And I can't, and so here I am. I did think about, oh, should I just write something? Because I do enjoy writing things out, and I have done a lot of posts on Instagram that are a little bit lengthier in terms of the caption and kind of like a little mini blog. But I thought, no, I don't think that that will capture it either. And I did get a lot of feedback from people that they would like to see a video of me talking about the experience. So thank you for all of you who mentioned that to me, and you encouraged me to hop on here and talk to the camera. There were some people who said to do interpretive dance, and I decided against that, although that might be the best way to capture everything. Who knows? We will never know. But let's talk about worlds. First off, I want to go back to my entire journey as a commentator for Disney Lorcana Challenge. I was asked by the team at Ravensburger to be on the team back before the first Disney Lorcana Challenge in Atlanta. And to say that I was surprised would be an understatement. I was so surprised, so shocked, because it was not something I ever pictured myself doing. It was not a path that I was pursuing. You know, I'm making content to connect with people, especially the new players out there, the social players, people who are huge Disney fans and find themselves playing this card game and don't know where to start. I'm trying to, make people laugh and smile with my funny content and fun and do song parodies and things like that, and just focused on building community around this game that we all love and enjoy. And so competitive commentary was not something that I ever pictured myself doing. When they approached me, I will be transparent and say that they acknowledged that they were not coming to me for my deep analytical, strategic analysis of the game, right? They know that that's not what I do and that's not what I bring. But I think that what they saw in me and through different things that they said was, not everyone out there playing this game is there for the deep strategic analysis. There are people like me who are Disney fans or just enjoy playing the game because it's fun. They like they like the social aspect, or they're brand new to TCGs and they're still learning. And what it said to me was, wow, the team at Ravensburger really cares about making sure that the entire community is represented in the casting booth. So it's not just those deep analytical competitive players who are bringing the commentary, but someone like me represents a huge portion of the Disney Lorcana community. And the team at Ravensburger showed that by asking someone like me to be part of the team, that they value that portion of the Lorcana community, and they want that part of the community to feel just as much a part of what's going on at Disney Lorcana Challenge as the highly competitive players. And I think that is so important and so needed, and I am so thankful to the team at Ravensburger and the people who believed in me. Like I said, it came as a surprise, but also on the same level, not a surprise, because I think that that's something that we see that's different in Disney Lorcana. Is it isn't just about one type of player out there. It's that there are all types of players out there, and that we want to embrace and welcome all of them. And that also speaks to me being a female, the only female on the team. And in fact, at Worlds, I was the only female person on camera because all 28 of the Worlds qualified players were men and the other casters were all men. There were wonderfully some female judges. In fact, the head judge for Worlds was a female. And so I was not the only female in the room. And of course, people from Ravensburger, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact that from the get-go that I was asked to be part of the team, not just because of my place in the community and the kind of content that I create, but also that they were very intentional about having a woman be a part of the team, and that representation is so important. And I will admit that before this experience, I know that representation is important, but I don't think that I realized how important it is, like the deep, deep need for there to be diverse representation in spaces. And we need more of it. We need more representation in all different aspects. Having one female on the team is a start. And I have been lucky enough to be in spaces which, even when they are male dominated, I work in IT. My manager right now is a woman. My manager before that was a woman. Like, I've always been in spaces that were perhaps male dominated, but that my personal experience was that there always were women around me. And so, but being in the TCG space with Disney Lorcana has taught me that not all spaces are like that, and not all individual experiences are like that. And I've had so many conversations with women of all ages. I've had conversations with moms who have young daughters in Disney Lorcana that tune into the broadcasts because I'm there as a woman, and they see someone that they can connect with and identify with. And you know, to hear a story of a 7 or 8 year old girl who's excited about playing Disney Lorcana, and that they see themselves in this community and in this game because I'm there, it makes me I think until I had those conversations with people, I just didn't realize how important that representation really, really is. And so I'm again thankful to the team at Ravensburger, and thankful to the community for supporting me and encouraging me in this journey, because I know that I'm the first, but I won't be the last. And I hope that there are many more women part of the broadcast team for future Disney Lorcana DLCs. But this idea of representation, I don't know, just until I had those conversations with people, it just really hit me over the course of this last year, like how important it really is. I think also being a mom myself, having a daughter, you know, who knows what her great interest and passion in life will be, but gosh, I hope that there's people in that space that she can look to, other women that she knows that she's welcome and belongs there. That's what all of us want, is to feel like we belong. And so if I can play a small part, a tiny part in helping someone else feel like they belong in the Disney Lorcana space, then I couldn't ask for anything more than that. Before I started recording this video, I thought, oh, should I put on makeup? Probably not, because I will probably cry. All right, representation, important, honored, grateful, humbled that I can be that right now. I do want to talk about the world's experience itself. But before I jump into that, I do want to talk about two things, though, about being the only woman that I wouldn't necessarily call them negative experiences, but things that I just noticed in this last year being a part of this team that are not exactly positive experiences, and comes with the territory of being the only woman that you see on screen as part of the broadcast team and being in a space that is primarily dominated by male people. So the first reflection is, we all know that there's double standards for men and women across all areas of life. But that is definitely something that I experienced while being part of the casting team. And of course, every person who has been on the casting team has gotten both wonderful, wonderful, positive feedback, and we've all experienced horrible negative feedback. Twitch chat is crazy. I hardly ever look at it. But you do still see things or hear things or whatever. And what was interesting to me was reflecting on how there were some comments that people made about particular things that I did that was called like annoying, and they didn't like it or whatever, and they want me out of there, and that's fine. But then to see other people on the broadcast team, who are all men, do some of those same things and get praised for it, and that people are like cheering them on and encouraging them, and they love it, and it's so entertaining and wonderful. And yet the same things, when I would do those, it's irritating and annoying. And I was just like, wonderful. That's fantastic. The double standards are ridiculous. I will say that even in all the negativity, I have pretty thick skin. I am hardly ever actually offended. I don't take things personally. I had multiple people checking in on me at different points throughout the season with the different Lorcana challenges to make sure that I was okay and just like emotionally and all of that, because being perceived by the public and getting that kind of feedback can be very difficult. I am fortunate that I have a theater background, and so I am very used to putting myself out there, being on stage, being in the public eye, and being judged for what I have to offer. When you are in the performing arts, yes, I'm putting on a costume. Yes, I'm acting like another person, but my voice is my voice, right? And the way I dance that's my body moving. And so when someone criticizes what I have to offer, oh, that is, when I was younger, when I was first performing, every word was like a dagger to the heart. But you learn how to filter through all the feedback and the critical comments that you get. You listen to the voices that you trust, that you value, those closest to you, those whose values the opinions really matter. And you learn to filter through the things that people say to find, okay, is there anything of value, even if the delivery was terrible? Is there something there that is helpful or not? And you learn not to take things personally. And so I'm fortunate that because of doing decades of theater and being on stage in front of people, that I have developed a very thick skin, and I know how to deal with that kind of critical feedback. And anyway, that kind of got off track a little bit, but bringing that back to just an interesting dynamic there with the double standard between men and women on screen. So take that as you will. And then the other thing that I noticed in particular as being the only woman on the team, and I was debating on whether I should bring this up or not, and I decided that I want to bring this up, is I have heard many comments, many conversations of people talking about what the future broadcast team looks like, and that people aren't directly saying this, but there are other wonderful women in the Disney Lorcana community who are out there doing casting and have dreams and aspirations to be on the official broadcast team. And I hope that one day that happens. And I am so excited for when that does happen. But what I don't like is that I'm hearing comments from men that indicate that it's like that there's only one spot for a woman on this team, and that right now I have it, but that in the future it should go to this person or to that person or to this other person, but that there's only one spot for a woman on the broadcast team. And again, no one's ever directly said that, but in the comments and the way that they talk about it, it's like you have to have your token woman, but there's only room enough for one. And everyone has an opinion on who that one should be. And I hate that. And I don't use that word lightly. I hardly ever say hate things. But I hate that thinking. I hate that mindset that there can only be one woman, on the broadcast team. Heck no. Let's have 2 women. Let's have 3. Let's have 4. Let's have an all-female broadcast team, one of these DLCs. Wouldn't that be a dream? Who says there can be only one? Okay, like no one says that except for the guys out there who that are limited in their thinking, and that obviously there's only room for one. I don't know. It just boggles my mind the number of comments that I've heard that insinuate that there's only room enough on the broadcast team out of 5 people for one of them to be a woman. And that is bonkers that people think that. And I hope that one day we do have an all-female English team. In fact, guess who does have an all-women team right now? The Italian broadcast team is 3 fantastic, fabulous women. And so I don't know why anyone would think that there is only room for one, but they do. And if you are somebody who went, oh, yeah, I did kind of think that, I can see how, people might think like, oh, Ravensburger only wants one woman because that's all there was first season, and so you just think that's how it always has to be. No, sir. And for any women out there watching, if you think there's only room for one woman on the team, no, ma'am, there's room. There's room for everyone. And that is, anyway, like I said, I was debating on whether or not I should even talk about this, but I really wanted to, because I want any of the women who are out there who may be watching this video or who have watched the DLCs, I want you to believe that you could be on this team someday, and not that you're not in direct competition with all the other women out there, because that's what it does, right? If you say there's only spot for one woman on the broadcast team, that puts every single woman out there who has dreams of being on the official broadcast team in direct competition with each other. And then the women are fighting for one spot. No, let's not have that happen, okay? And there are 5 spots there right now on the broadcast team. Who knows, maybe that'll expand someday, as the DLCs grow and there's more events and more things going on, there could be more than that. But however many spots there are on the team, those are for everyone. Those are for anyone. And the people that they brought in for the first year were wonderful and amazing. But there are all kinds of wonderful, amazing people in this community who could fill those spots, and many of them are women. So anyway, I just couldn't let this little reflection video go by without bringing that up. But let's talk about Worlds specifically. Okay, first of all, I have to talk about when I was actually asked to do Worlds. When I got the phone call and was offered the chance to broadcast for Worlds, I literally did I was dancing. I was outside. I remember exactly where I was, and I had to take the call and go outside, and I was dancing. And of course I said yes. And When I found out who the other members of the team were going to be, I was very excited. Of course, Liam and Brandon BSquared are two people that I've had the honor of working with for the entire season ever since Atlanta, and they are both wonderful, and I love what they bring to the broadcast, and I just love them both as people and what they bring to this community. They are both awesome, and so glad to call them friends. JD, I was very excited to see him on the team. He has like limitless energy. I love it so much, and he is so fun. I actually never got a chance to cast with him at Worlds, but we've done some ICL casts together, and he is just a wonderful person. And of course, Baker, he's somebody that I've interacted with a lot online, and I remember Baker and I had a conversation many, many months ago, and I said to him, man, it is a dream of mine that I get asked to do Worlds, and I hope that you get asked to do Worlds, and I hope we can work together, because he just seemed like such an amazing, wonderful, genuine, fun person, and he is all of those things and more, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get to work with Baker at Worlds. So when I heard who the team was, I was jazzed, to say the least. So we got out there, I got there on Thursday, and I landed at about 4 o'clock Orlando time. And of course I was coming from the West Coast, so I was so tired. I was up at like 3 in the morning to get on the plane, and had a layover in Salt Lake City or something. And then I went from airport to the hotel, got settled, changed my clothes, and went straight to EPCOT. Like a crazy person, because I'm a Disney fan, right? I'm a Disney fanatic, and I had never been to Walt Disney World ever before in my life, so I was very excited. And I had purchased myself a ticket to go to the EPCOT After Hours event, because there just happened to be that After Hours event going on that night when I arrived. And I got into the park about 7, and I stayed until 1 a.m., which I am not normally up that late, but for Walt Disney World, I will do it. And I had tons of fun. I did go on Mission Space on the orange side, which was a mistake. And that's like a whole nother topic. We won't talk about that, but if you know, you know. And then Friday, we were into it. Friday, we had a media day, and the players were all there. They were recording their things, those fun little like, draw this card from memory. Oh my gosh. So we didn't know about that though. We didn't know what the players were doing at all. We just knew they were getting pulled in and doing videos and whatever else and all of that. But those videos were fantastic. And when we saw them live during the broadcast, I was like, oh, these are wonderful. More of this, please. And then the casters, we got to record that bit for the opening video, which was incredible. I can't even describe how amazing that video is. Shout out to Tate, who does the videography and edited that video. I mean, when Baker and I were standing in front of the camera and we were ready to do the opening to welcome everyone on day 1, they played that video, and we saw it for the first time there at the same time that everyone watching saw it. And I actually had to stop watching it, and so I didn't see the whole thing, because I was getting so emotional about hearing our voices and just the editing of it all together and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, like we are a part of this, and this is like, it felt like such a big, huge, like almost like historical moment for Disney Lorcana. Like that video is going to live forever. For as long as this game is around, people are going to look back. And the whole broadcast, right? The first World Championship is something that people are going to look back on. And the fact that I got to be a part of it, like beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And that video was just, I've showed it to so many people, and I've watched it so many times, because I'm just like, wow, yeah, I'm really in there. That's really my voice, and that's really me. And along with these other incredible people. Anyway, so we did record that. And what else did we do Friday? Friday we did rehearsals. So we walked through a few different things and checked out like the room and everything. And of course it was set up beautifully. The yacht club like facility was wonderful and beautiful. So Friday, that was about it. Afterwards, at the end of the night, I think we all kind of just hung out for a little bit, didn't stay up too late or anything, and went back to get some sleep. And then Saturday was day one. And like I said, we were standing there first thing in the morning, ready to go, Baker and I, and they played that video, and that was just like, awesome. And then we were off to the races. Being able to do the opening, I did opening both day one and day two, and then doing the closing awards ceremony with Baker was so much fun. He's awesome. When we talked about who was going to do what, the team who was putting on the broadcast kind of like, they wanted to hear feedback from us about what were we most passionate about, what did we want to do on the team. And I love doing the interviews, I love doing the hosting, I love the award ceremony and welcoming everyone to the broadcast and all of that. And so I primarily wanted to do that part, but I did say I do want to be in the booth though. I want to do at least one match. I do enjoy it, and also I think it's important. Because I am the only female on the team, I do think it's important for me to be in the booth at least a little bit. As we were working out who was going to do what, between the 5 of us, I was going to do one match on Saturday in the booth, and that was it, and just do hosting. And I was perfectly fine with that. And on late Saturday or maybe early Sunday, I was talking with someone and they were asking about when I was going to be back in the booth, and expressed to me how much they enjoyed my commentary and the way that I bring commentary to the stream, and which brought to mind some other conversations that I had had with people about, even Brandon, BSquared. He's like, Rebecca, you're great. And people enjoy watching you as part of the broadcast team. Like, your commentary is good. There's something that you bring that people still love, and don't discount what you bring to the booth. And so because of that, I had a little chat with Baker and I said, hey, would you mind if I hopped in for another match today on Sunday? Because I think he had more than some of the other people. I told him, I said, I totally understand, like, if you're like, no, I want to do these games, these matches, the way that we have it set, I would have been fine with that, and he would have had every right to keep that match, to commentate. But he was so gracious and said, yeah, it's yours. And I'm so glad that I did. And I really do want to thank all the people out there who specifically sent me messages talking about how much you enjoyed my commentary. And sometimes I get a little nervous about how much people enjoy my commentary, especially when it came to it being Worlds, right? Like, this is not just a DLC day one. And I was like, I don't know if people want to see me in the booth. And I appreciate all the people out there who said, yeah, people do. And thank you to Baker, who let me take another match on Sunday, so I was able to commentate both days. So I just really, 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 really appreciate all the people who spoke to that and encouraged me, because, we all need a little encouragement. Let's see. Okay, what else did I love though? Day one, I got to play Pack Rush with Liam, and that was so fun. He won, but I had the most awesome top deck ever with a whole new world, and man, if I had only pulled a Be Prepared, that would have been great. That would have been bonkers. But it was so fun, and listening to JD and Brandon commentating our game was fantastic, and it was really, really great fun. And then Baker coming out to like kick me out of my chair and take on Liam. We had a lot of fun, and the whole team, honestly, like we worked so well together. It was so much fun. Like I was saying earlier about each one of them is just so wonderful and a great team member. I really felt like it was a team, and that all 5 of us were like moving in the right direction, and we all just like super got along well and had some just great vibes, like, you know, immaculate vibes and all of that. It was fantastic. My only regret is that JD and I didn't actually get to be on screen together at any point during Worlds, which makes me so sad. I'm like, how did we not do anything together? But I got to do a bunch of announcements with Liam, which was fun. Brandon and I casted together a match. Baker and I casted together a match on day 1. And of course we did opening and award ceremony together. So that was great fun. But next time, JDZ, next time you and I will have some fun together for sure. Great matches. I was glued to the TV even when I wasn't casting, because I was having to watch the games, you know, for doing interviews and everything. It was wonderful seeing all the players. Of course, a lot of the players from North America I already knew and had interacted with before other DLCs, but it was fantastic getting to meet all the players from Europe and everything. Fabulous people, a wonderful group. You could tell they were all having the time of their life. Very focused and like in the zone, but also so wonderful and generous with their time. And yeah, all in all, fantastic fun with all the matches. Of course, we also got to see people from Ravensburger there, Steve Warner, Ryan Miller, both in attendance, who are just, they are the best. Of course, everything they brought to the game, but then as people, they're just so wonderful. I think Ryan, I especially like connect with him just because he's such a big kid, you know, like Disney guy, and I just really connect with that, and he's so wonderful. The rest of the team was fantastic. Everyone behind the scenes, the production team, all the event staff, and everyone was really fantastic. Cooper and Cheyenne and Alex, who were like the event people from Ravensburger, I mean, they put on a really, really fantastic event. Cooper is still really new at Ravensburger, and so seeing everything he brought to the team, like, I cannot wait to see what else he is able to do as he grows into his position with Ravensburger. And then Rochelle was there, and I'm so glad I got to see her. She is somebody who has kind of believed in me since the very beginning and seen a lot in me. And I wouldn't probably be here if it weren't for her. And she saw the 5 of us on the broadcast team taking a picture at the end of day 2 after the awards ceremony. We were all, you know, up there in our little like gold outfits and taking a picture, and she started crying, and then we all like kind of lost it. And I think it was just probably the culmination of a lot of things, and the whole season coming to a closure and this world celebration ending, and then seeing the 5 of us. And I think that there was just like a really special moment there, and we took a picture with her and we hugged it out. It was fantastic, but just so many emotions. And if anyone else out there is a theater kid, it definitely at the end of day 2, after the awards ceremony, and people are taking pictures and hugging and having these like little moments here, you know, pockets of people just like connecting. It was like closing night of a show where, you know, it's wonderful and exciting and there's so much energy, but then also, you know, like, and this is the end, and who knows when we'll see each other again, and it will never be the same, like that this moment will never be recreated. And there was just a lot of emotion going on at that time. So, yeah, it was wonderful. The event went so smooth. The judge team was fantastic. Everyone involved from top to bottom did amazingly. And I know I'm saying it a million times, but I'm so like humbled and honored to have been a part of it, and how lucky, how fortunate am I that I got to do this. Like, right, this is like Disney dreams come true. And also, I'm gonna go on another little side quest here, is I say that, how lucky, how fortunate am I? Yes. And I know that I worked really hard. I worked really hard to get here, and it wasn't by accident. It wasn't just luck. Like, I am so passionate about what I do and this game and this community. And I've been very intentional about what I bring and the kind of content that I create to continue to help encourage and welcome people, to inspire people on their own journeys with this game, to give voice to the experience I have so that people don't feel like they're alone. And all of that, it's on some days it's a lot. It's overwhelming, or there's burnout or whatever. And it can be a lot of hard work, that goes on behind the scenes, when I'm also a mom of 2 and I'm a wife and I'm working a job and trying to also be a content creator. And it's a lot of work, and I love it. I love it, but it is a lot. And I work hard, and I put a lot of thought and intention into what I create. And I know that ever since I first started my account, that every ounce of work and passion and dedication that I have put into what I do has led me here. And so I know that sometimes it's hard to give ourselves credit for the things that we do, and I can very easily do that sometimes, to say, oh, it was just these people, who gave me the opportunity, or it was just luck, or being at the right place at the right time, et cetera, et cetera. But I have done a lot to get here. And so it's good for me to remember that and to honor that. I know that I am not here by accident. And yes, there are some things that have gone my way that I am very fortunate about, and things that were out of my control. But I have done so much that is within my control to set myself up for these opportunities that I have been fortunate enough to have. And so I will just take a moment to just recognize that. So high five. High five, Rebecca. Okay, now I know that I've definitely probably been rambling on too much. Okay, so let's wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up by talking about our final day, which was Monday after Worlds, where we were graciously gifted tickets to go to Magic Kingdom by Ravensburger, which was so wonderful. I went to the group of casters and I said, who's rope dropping with me? Because I do not go to the parks without rope dropping, because listen, rope drop is the only way to do it, okay? I'm a Disneyland girl, never been to Disney World, but I did my research on what to rope drop and what rides to get on, et cetera, et cetera. And so I had a plan, and I said, who's gonna rope drop with me? And Baker said, what's rope drop? And I explained it, and he said, I'm in. I'm here for one day. Who knows when I'll be back? Let's make the most of it. And so we were up, crack of dawn, got to the park. We did the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We did Tron, which we only waited like 40 minutes, 45 minutes for, which like the rest of the day, right, is going to be an hour and a half, 2 hour wait or whatever. So yeah, only 45 minutes. We did Space Mountain, and we did some other fun things. We went to the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. We went to Small World, Peter Pan, Haunted Mansion, and that might have been it for like the rides that I went on. I was suffering, you guys. I was a California flower melting in the Orlando humidity. It was too much. My body literally just did not know what to do. My body could not handle the humidity. I don't know how y'all do it that go to the parks all the time or who live down there. Like I just don't understand the air. Like the air does not make sense to me. The Florida air is dumb. I what's wrong with you, Florida? I couldn't do it. So people were off doing other things, and I was like, I'm going in the Country Bear Jamboree because it's inside with air conditioning. Then I'm going to the Tiki Room because it's inside with air conditioning. Then I'm going to go shopping inside the shop because it's inside with air conditioning. I just couldn't take it. And we had a lot of fun. We ran into a bunch of the players at the parks, which was very cool because they were there as well. We got to go to dinner with the casters, all 5 of us, and let's see here, JD's wife was there, and of course Erin from Illumineers was there with their little one, and we all went to this restaurant where there was the 100 Acre Woods friends. So we got to meet Piglet and Tigger and Eeyore and Pooh, and that was so much fun. And I just loved how we were all big kids and so excited to meet these characters. Like it had so much fun being in the parks with other people who were as much of a child at heart as I was. That just made the experience that much more wonderful. Then I went and scoped out some spots for the fireworks, and I've heard that the Happily Ever After fireworks was like the best fireworks show ever. And so I was like, okay, then we're gonna get prime spots. And I staked out a spot, and the rest of the casters joined. Well, JD came and said hello and goodbye. They didn't stay for the rest of the night, but the other casters got there, and we all watched Happily Ever After. And when I tell you that was like the culminating moment of the weekend, like there was something about that song, Happily Ever After, about the movies and the characters that they have, the story that's being told through that fireworks show. And it's so cheesy, right? But it just got me. It got me. The first moment that super got me was when Hunchback started going, right, singing out there. That got me. And then, you know, Mufasa's like, remember who you are. And then Hercules is singing Go the Distance. And then Tinkerbell flew across, and that was awesome. And I don't know, there was just something in that moment at the end of this journey, of this whole first season of Disney Lorcana Challenge, and being there with those people, Liam and Brandon and Baker, Aaron, and sharing that experience together was just overwhelming and so special. And it was like all of us, I think, kind of recognized it in that moment about these dreams that we each had with Disney Lorcana way back a year, 2 years ago. All of us started what we're doing like so long ago. We all started at 0 with these huge Disney-sized dreams. And then there we were together, being the first broadcast team for the Disney Lorcana World Championship. Like, who could have imagined? Who could have imagined a year and a half ago when I started my Instagram account that this is where I would be, standing in Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World in that stupid Florida heat with these wonderful people watching these fireworks, having just completed bringing this broadcast to the entire Disney Lorcana community around the world. It was like too much to take in at one moment. And like, I'm recording this, today is July 13th. You know, I've been so busy since I got back. So this is like fully like 2 weeks after this all has ended, and it's still like the emotions are all still there because it was such a big moment. It was huge. And I am so thankful to those 4 other people, JD, Baker, Brandon, and Liam, who I got to share that experience with. I am so thankful to the team at Ravensburger for inviting me and allowing me to be a part of doing this for the community. And I'm eternally grateful, like beyond, for this entire community, you know, especially like my people who have followed me on Instagram ever since I was just like a tiny baby account, who have joined in the fun, who interact with me, that we can share and laugh together over the silly things that I do on Instagram. The messages that people have sent me, you know, saying, you know, I love your videos, or my daughter loves your videos, or I'm a brand new player and I didn't know where to start and I'm so glad I found your account, or I was scared to play in a set championships, but your story helped me to like be brave enough to go. Like, this community keeps me going, and I'm so thankful for every single one of you. And I am so glad that I can just be one small part of your journey, because I know that we're all on our own journeys with this game, whatever that looks like, from the highest, you know, competitive player that was there, one of those 28 players at Worlds, going for that 1 of 1 golden Mickey, to the family that's doing family game night at their dining room table. Oh, it's so silly. We are all in the same community, and I want everyone to feel like they belong here. And if that's what I can do for one person, that's why I keep doing what I do. So thank you to everyone for your support and encouragement. I wouldn't be here without this community. It feels so silly. This is why I usually just write things or make short videos. I don't even know how long I've been talking now. All right, well, I've blabbered on for long enough now. Blubbered on is more like it. This Disney Lorcana World Championship experience was something I will remember for the rest of my life, for sure. Thank you for watching. This really has been something beyond my wildest dreams, and it was an honor to be part of the World Championship broadcast and to be a part of the broadcast team for this whole first season of Disney Lorcana Challenge. Thank you for your support and encouragement, and I hope that I can always continue to be a support and encouragement for the community. As we go forward from here, I know that Disney Lorcana has a lot more in store. I hope that this game is around for years, decades to come, and I am so excited to see where the future takes us. I hope that you guys will stick around for it. I plan to. I know that it's going to be really amazing, and another year from now or 2 years from now, who knows where we'll all be as a community. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy questing.